What's up, everybody? JJ Jerez, Jesse Montaño here in Ball Arena following the 8-2 victory over the Anaheim Ducks for the home team here, the Colorado Avalanche. Jesse, an important win for Colorado, not only to take advantage of a team on the second night of a back-to-back here at altitude, but also build off of that last victory and really start to get some momentum.
Nathan McKinnon talked to me about that last week, JJ, about building on wins. You know, it's funny, I shot off a text right after the game that's back-to-back really good games where not just you're coming out on the right end of the scoreboard, but I felt like the process was right, the effort was right, they took care of the details, all over the ice. We'll get more into that. But these were solid, they were good wins. You know, you get wins sometimes, and at the end of the day, that's the point of this game, right? To win, to get points in the standings. Not all wins are created equal. I thought tonight and the game against Seattle were good wins where they did a lot of the right things and were rewarded for it appropriately on the scoreboard.
Yeah, 8 goals is marvelous, of course, but that all starts from the defensive zone, right? We talked to Cale Makar after that, and he had a couple pretty good thoughts about it.
Yeah, you and I have talked about that that's the bread and butter of this team. Take care of things in your own end, play fast, get up the ice, and if their details are dialed in defensively, it usually translates to points on the board, and like you said, Cale Makar agreed with that.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, obviously, I don't know if I've ever been on a team like that where we don't score like basically 3 road games in a row, but I think it just comes back to that execution. If we're not gonna put the work in certain zones of the ice that make our game what it is, whether it's the defensive zone or neutral zone, then it's going to translate to those zones. So I think overall it's just a full commitment from guys, and I think we've seen that in the last 2 games at certain points. It's just, like I said, keep building that, and can't get too high on ourselves.
So yeah, 8 goals is a big difference from the last time we were here at Ball Arena, getting 8 scored against you. So
I'll say different kind of 8-2.
Yeah, absolutely. This one feels better, I think, all around. But a couple guys with multi-point nights tonight. I guess who stood out to you the most? What'd you like from whoever?
Everyone? Yeah, no. So, again, I want to just keep going back to themes that you and I have talked about that depth needing to step up. You got contributions kind of throughout your lineup tonight. But, again, Yoel Kiviranta, multiple points. Logan O'Connor, multiple points. Ross Colton, multiple points. Like, you got good depth production. Val Nichushkin, 2 goals off of tips. And Jerry Bednar talked about it after the game. It's funny because it was the first thing that went through my mind. And so it was funny to hear him say that.
The Landeskog comparison.
Landeskog, yep. Where do you miss Gabe Landeskog? Maybe the most on the ice. It's right in front of that net. Him and Joe Pavelski are among the league's elite in terms of deflecting pucks. Getting that kind of game out of Val Nichushkin tonight, it's big because that's just an element they're missing, but you felt kind of the cohesion of the offensive zone. Great cycling all night. You know, you pointed out, I mean, that one shift, we kind of like 3 or 4 scissor, drop passes and stuff at the top of the zone, coming down the wall. So really just overall a good effort and exactly what you wanted to see out of them in this type of game.
Yeah, I was going to get into Val Nichushkin as well because 2 points, I mean, that's something you've been waiting for Val for a while to get that offensive going. And if he adds that element, that little tool under his belt that he kind of hasn't really had before, just going to make him and the power play that much more threatening, right? The third periods have been really big for the team lately. Of course, the win in Seattle, the Avs really shut down the Kraken in the third period. Tonight was no different, scoring 5 goals in the third period to really put the game away. Yeah,
you and I talked about it this morning. There was a chance. Anaheim, long road trip, second game of a back-to-back. You may see them lose their legs a little bit there in the third. I think the Avs had kind of already put the game away by the time that real dip in energy came from the Ducks. But yeah, I keep going back to it, and I don't want to keep living in 2022 talking about the Stanley Cup, but I do just always go back to that Game 6, third period, as kind of like that's perfect hockey in terms of shutting a team down. And that's kind of like my standard now for when I watch the Avs come out into a third period where they're trying to hold a lead. I compare it to that, and I thought really 2 nights ago in Seattle and tonight we're close to that kind of effort. 2 shots against in the third period against Seattle a couple nights ago when they're holding onto a lead, giving Seattle nothing, and then it kind of translated here again for stretches of this game, probably the first and third period, where they just gave them nothing. Like Anaheim had no chance. You know, they've had all kinds of comebacks at the beginning of this season, set an NHL record for most third period comebacks, and they never really even had a sniff in this third period. And that's that mature veteran play style from the Avs that's translating on both ends of the ice.
And again, up and down the lineup, right? So nice to build some momentum here at home. The Avalanche do head back on the road, going to Nashville and Dallas here coming up. So from Ball Arena, 8-2 over the Anaheim Ducks. For Jesse, I'm JJ, Guerilla Sports.